Welcome to Prince Shorthand House. Exercise number 85 and 86 Sir Kailash Chandra. 160 words a minute. Total 1680 words. Be ready. Start. I am dealing with the question of the powers of the government to stop such films. The government has been complaining that they have not got the powers. My point is that the power is there, and if their power is exercised fully and properly, there need be no resolution like this, because the whole purpose of the resolution is that the moral standards of the country should not go down, sir. In this connection, all that the government can do is to cut out the objectionable part of the picture. So they cannot force the producers to produce a particular type of picture. It is only in those countries where it is undertaken by the government that it may be possible that the government may produce pictures of the type which the honorable members might approve. It is absolutely open to the producer to produce any picture which they think is a best entertainer as well as a good instructor. But you cannot force, and the government has no power, and the government will never have the power, or the house can never give the government the power to force the producer to produce a particular type of picture. It is only a government undertaking that could do that. But in this connection, I do wish to emphasize one point, that these pictures, objectionable or not objectionable, should not be open to boys under the particular age. If you are convinced that these pictures are likely to have a beneficial influence, you must stop them. But at the same time, we must have pictures for children. We all know that Russia, Czechoslovakia, Poland and other totalitarian countries are having excellent children's pictures, but we must not forget that these children pictures are produced by the government. There is a double purpose in producing these pictures. It is not only to give instruction and entertainment to children, but there is a particular type of education which they wanted to give to the children, and particular ideas which they want to put into the heads of the children, and so it is undertaken by the government. It is not at all as economic proposition. Even in America, they have produced only very few films, and even those that they have produced for children are such that they are very good entertainers even for adults. The only other country is the United Kingdom, which has made an attempt in this direction through private enterprise, but there are philanthropists who have devoted themselves exclusively for this purpose, who without desiring any profits for themselves have been prepared to undergo any loss, and it is only through those people in UK that they could produce really marvelous pictures for children. Here in India, we can never expect any good children pictures to produce by the private producer. I know that the government of India has even set apart an award for, but that award will be of no avail. It is only decisive ourselves, and the government decides itself. It is expect that simply because of this award any producer will undertake producing a good children's picture, because it is an absolutely uneconomic proposition and it cannot be done, and the government must take the responsibility upon itself. The information department in its films division should produce good children's pictures, and those pictures should not only be preaching morals, but they should be good entertainers, and only if we could do that can we give something to the children which would be more attractive and where they will be more interested, and along with the entertainments and interests they could get instructions even without being told that these are meant for education. Then and alone we can have some good results, and we can save our children, and we can really impart good instruction to our children through such films. Otherwise, when you go to the picture, you are not going there simply for instruction and learning morals. The main purpose of seeing a picture is to have entertainment, and certainly it should not be obscene or objectionable. And to stop that, the government has already been given enough power, and I say that the government is exercising that power. The complaint is of a different nature, and that is that our cinemas lack purpose. If you see pictures, you will find that out of the 25% are just the same story of a boy and a girl and nothing beyond that. There is no real purpose or real drama except in certain films which are produced mostly in Bengal, and there we find that authors of eminence and their works are being put on the screen. There are people for whom we have very great respect even in the film line who are very seriously thinking about this matter and who are quite alive to their responsibilities. Such films should be given encouragement by the government, not through the censor board but by the government. Next para. Sir, it is my proud privilege to initiate this important debate on the 11th plan in this August House. Although I have been in charge of the Ministry of Planning only for a few days, I have had the opportunity along with my colleague in the cabinet of considering the plan in its various aspects, and I shall try to present before you the salient features of the plan in the perspective of government's general overall economic objectives. Let me say at the outset that the 11th plan covering the years 2007-8 to 2012-13 has been formulated in the light of the development experience of the past 3 decades and the perspective we need to keep for the next 10 to 15 years. The country's performance in the past has yielded very valuable lessons, and we must adapt our strategy of development in the light of this experience. The initial conditions from which the plan had to commence were far from favorable. 1999-2000 was a drought year during which agricultural production slumped. There was a sharp rise in prices which continued during 2002, and many weaknesses appeared in the basic infrastructure of coal, transport and power, which in turn had adverse consequences for industrial growth. Internationally, we faced a sharp rise in prices of petroleum and other imports, while recessionary conditions in the industrialized world held out a threat for our exports. In a situation such as this, it was not easy for the government and the Planning Commission to chart the course of the country for the next 5, 10 or 15 years, which would be all bold or definitive. At the same time, the problems facing the country are so acute that solutions brook no delay. Removal of poverty and unemployment and attainment of self-reliance have been the basic goals of plan development, and they remain so far the 11th plan as well. In order to move forward towards these objectives, it is essential, although not sufficient, to achieve a high rate of growth of national income. The plan thus aims at a growth rate of 5.2% per annum. This is not an ambitious target, especially since 1999-2000 was year of low output, but it still requires assiduous efforts to utilize excess capacities in the system and to build new productive capacities in industry as well as agriculture, in power, in transport, so as to sustain the momentum of development in the years to come beyond the present plan period. We think this effort can be made. Indeed, in the first 18 months since this government came to power, such an effort has been made. As a result, the growth rate last year was 7% and is likely to be 4.5% this year. Thus, the average for the plan may come to 6%. In order to achieve the target growth rate of 5.2%, both agriculture and industry will have to perform better than in the past. In terms of gross value added, the plan envisages an average growth rate of about 4% for agriculture and about 7% for mining and manufacturing. The realization of these targets will require a substantial step up in investment as well as a considerable improvement in capacity which have already been created, particularly in such critical sectors as irrigation, power, coal, petroleum, fertilizers, cement and railways. The 11th plan lays a balanced emphasis on both these aspects. The country is currently self-sufficient in food grains. However, there are still gaps in such important areas as pulses and vegetable oil seeds. Agriculture being still the foundation of our economy, the 11th plan contains a number of programs designed to further strengthen the modernizing impulses in agriculture, covering both food and cash crops. As a part of the overall strategy, the area under irrigation is sought to be increased by nearly 15 million hectares over the plan period. The consumption of chemical fertilizer is expected to go up from 5 million tons of nutrients in 1999 and 2000 to 9 million tons in 2004 to 2005. The institution credit for agriculture and rural development will be more than doubled over the plan period. The newly planned National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development will act as a powerful agent for overcoming the weaknesses of the credit delivery systems, particularly in the meeting the credit needs of small and marginal farmers and rural artisans. Apart from crop husbandry, considerable stress has been laid on the development of subsidiary occupations like animal husbandry, horticulture, fisheries, social and farm forestry. The dairy development program alone is expected to benefit about 15 million families. It is the declared policy of the government to provide remunerative prices for farm produce and to strengthen the infrastructure for marketing so that farmers have an adequate incentive to produce more. Stop.